Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is essentially, kind of what do you do if you're surrounded by someone who is psychopathic? Someone who basically they're saying they can't really get away from them, and they are, what do you do if you're sort of still being targeted by a psychopath and they sort of have this obsessive sort of hatred, that they're kind of using this to sort of continue to target and focus and project onto you. In other words, you feel that you're always sort of in their line of fire. You're constantly being targeted. It just doesn't stop. And oftentimes these are derived out of falsehoods, or I think what this person is, pathological obsessive hatred, poisoning wells before you get to them. So in other words, they're trying to lay a trap for you. They're trying to set a trap. It's kind of like a minefield. In other words, you're bound to step into here, and then something is going to happen. Either you're going to get some news, they're going to find out that they're dating somebody, they're messing you up, they didn't give you the information that you needed, you missed a meeting, you missed a get together, you missed the kids. They will deliberately and calculated, try to set up a trap that is unequivocally, without a doubt, a good way to put it. So, and he's like, how do you react? So you don't react. The whole idea is when you're with someone who is psychopathic is to realize they are all creating a convoluted game and engineered of chaos and of power, engineering power and control in their own mind. So this is something that they're convoluting, making up, building, creating, deliberately calculating. So again, they're creating sort of like a mastermind to achieve this. This is just what they do. And it's terrible to be targeted, yes, but realize that this is creating a sort of deliberate plan for them, and what you have to sort of back up and realize that it's almost like that you can explain it as almost as if they're having a conversation with themselves, and they're trying to create an outcome according to their paintbrush. They're trying to create a perception that appears as if, in other words, to build themselves up, they can usually try to be after others. To build themselves up, they can look for opportunities to promote themselves, even if it's a bunch of lies. They will just promote and promulgate themselves. It depends really whatever it is that they want. So I'm not quite sure what particular situation you're in. If this is a family or where you work or you live, I'm not, or you're married, I'm not quite sure. But when creating conditions that they then can explain that you are the nut. Of course, well, because if they can make you lose control, appear unknowledgeable, foul up, like any normal, if you can just be human, then you're in trouble, is basically what their bottom line trap is. If you are a feeling, living, sentient human being who has feelings, then they're just gonna try to create trouble for you. So it's just what it is. They're just trying to create trouble. But it's only trouble if you make it so, if you identify it as so, and you allow it to be as so. So knowing that they're going to be this way, you can begin to say, oh, this person is just trying to create trouble. Don't launch into the self-protective mode. Don't react. Don't fight fire with fire. Don't become an energetic force. Don't become an energetic counterforce to their force. Don't match them energetically. Just like a tennis match. You're not going and playing ball with these people. This is not what you're doing. To be so, then you're on a psychopathic wavelength, and that this is just where they are trying to create what appears to be, I think for a lot of people, like a spell, or what they feel then as being targeted, and then they're trying to trip people up. They will plant things. To the degree that most people could not even conjure up. They wouldn't have the time, the mental capacity, the even wherewithal, the idea, I mean, to go to the degree, the extent, to plot and try to throw somebody off, and especially the main outcome, I think, is to create a sort of fear and paranoia. I mean, is really, and a suspiciousness, but then becomes paranoia, which means that they cannot outsmart this psychopath. So usually that's what the psychopath is trying to, oh, I'm outsmarting you, and you can never retaliate. So that they create this sort of like emotional oil that you can never get any traction on, even though you've got traction in your life. So they make it again as if you can't think, you can't walk, you can't perceive for yourself. I mean, so it does very much feel that way, and that's a very good way to put it. So realize that they're kind of creating a game in and of themselves. So are you going to play? I mean, I'm not playing this. We're not playing this. Even if you played before, okay, that was then, this is now. You've thrown away the deck, you've thrown away the cards, the chips, whatever it is you're playing with. You don't have those anymore. You don't have the cards, you threw away the chips, whatever it is. You don't have a energetic connection here to be able to do that. So you have to diffuse, and you have to, the word that I'm looking for is you have to shut down. You have to not only deflate, but you have to disengage that sort of, before you get excited, before you get fearful, before you're manipulated, because you just have to realize that there's that, I guess, that before moment that you have to realize that that's where you actually live. So the psychopath will make you feel that you live according to their agenda, and that they want you to be always fearful or thinking about them over all the time. I mean, this is how they wear people out. They break people down. They get people fatigued. They get just sick and tired of living on that fear. And you have to deal with it wisely. You have to realize that you don't react. You